that a new concept, object-oriented ABAP. In that, we have discussed two types of classes. One is global class, the other one is local class. So yesterday we have seen global class definition and how to implement the global class. So have you remembered the transaction code to access a global class? What is the transaction code?
SC24.
Yes, C24. So this is for class builder screen, and here I created a global class. So this is the global class. So today we'll see local class. So to create local class, we'll do the same steps like global class, but here everything like SAP has created. Like if I want to write methods, there is a method tab. If I want to write the logic, I can go to source code. But when it comes to SC38, that is ABAP editor screen. We don't have this type of tables and tabs. So everything we have to declare or define with keywords only. Okay? So everything we have to write with statements or keywords. But in SC24, already SAP has set up with some tables or tabs. So directly we can declare it. But when it comes to SC38, we have to write everything. So let's see that. So I'll go to SC38 transaction code. Earlier, how we created a program. Similarly, we have to create local class. So let me give the name 29, 2025, and here local class. So LCL1 and class. In type executable, click on save. So this we already know. To save in your TR. Oh, this is not my
Excuse
TR.
Neha, your voice was not clear.
Am I audible to you? It's clear. So I think it is from your side. Everyone saying clear.
Okay, let me check.
It's the right TR. So
Yeah, it's clear now.
okay. In global class creation, what are the steps we follow? We will follow in the local class also, same steps. So first, what we did in the global class. So first, I went to SC24 transaction code. Then I gave the class name, right? So this is SC24 transaction code. Here I have given the class name. Similarly, in local class also, I have to give the class name. So I have to give the class name inside of SC38. So in SC38, we have a syntax. For local class, we have a syntax that is class, class name, definition, end class. Then class, class name, implementation, and class. So this is a syntax whenever we write local class. So we have to write class, class name definition, and class name definition. And these steps we did in SC24 also. So let me show you. So this is the class name. Suppose if I click display or change. So first what I did, I went to methods tab. Here I have given the method name. So whenever we are giving the name, that is comes to definition part. So this is method name, and I have chosen as a static method, and I gave the visibility of public. Then I gave the description, right? So here just I give the names. What is the name of method? What is the level it is going to be happen? Visibility and description. Just I gave the names. So this is comes under definition part. So whenever we create class, either local class or global class, we have two parts. One is definition, the other one is implementation. So definition in the sense only the names, like what is the method name, what are the and also I give the parameters like parameter name and what is the type. So these all comes under definition part. So similarly, I have to do in SE38. So here we have a tab methods. Under this tab, I gave the method name. But in SE38, we don't have such type of tabs, right? So we have to write with the help of keywords. So before writing methods name, first I have to write definition part. This one. So here I will write class. So this is the syntax. Class name, definition. So class name I'm giving like LCL, like local, and definition. So this one abap keyword. So you have to write same. Class name, you can give any name. Here I gave LCL, you can give any name here. Okay, class name, definition. And class must be closed by end class. Like if must be closed by end if. Similar way, it is like a processing block. Every class must be closed by end class. And within the class and end class definition, here I can declare methods, parameters, or if I have any variables. So all the declaration part will do in the definition part. Okay. So here, now first part is done. So the first part is class name we did. Uh, and now we are going to do this definition part. So this is the method name. So where I have written this method name under methods tab. Look at the tab name methods tab. So in SE38, we don't have such type of tabs. So I will write with the help of keyword methods. And what is the method name here? I have taken get data. The same name I will take get data. Get data. So here I have declared the method. How I declared the method? With methods keyword. Like whenever we want to declare work area or internal table, we use a keyword data. Suppose if I want to declare a single input value, I use a keyword parameters. Similarly, if I want to declare a method, I will use a keyword methods. And if you go to SE24 also, how we define the method under the methods tab. So this is the keyword to define the method. So methods are nothing but multiple. It can be have single method or multiple methods. So that is the reason the name is methods. So don't write method, it is methods. Because in the declaration, we can have multiple methods. Then level. So after written the method name, there is a level. In this level, we have two types, static and instance. So here, with the help of F4 button, we can choose either static or instance. But in SE38, we don't have such type of option. So you can recognize if it is written as methods, it is static method. Let me write here. It is sorry, instance method, not static. Instance method. If it is written directly with methods keyword, it is instance method. And static method is, let me write at the bottom. mm, Static method. So for static method, the declaration is class hyphen methods. So if there is a keyword class before methods, this is the declaration of static method. If there is no class keyword, then it is instance method. So if you want to use static method, you have to declare class hyphen methods. If you want to declare as instance method, directly you can write methods method name. And here you can write method name, like get data. So if it is an instance method, we use only methods keyword. If it is static method, we use class hyphen methods. So in this way, you can recognize either it is instance method or static method. So let me comment this one. Later I will show you. Okay. So as of now, you can see only the declaration part for instance method and static method. Then what we did? Visibility. So here, what is the visibility? Public, private, protected. So we can choose with the help of F4 button, either public or private or protected. But no option in SC38. So this is belongs to method. If you see yesterday when I called this method into AC38, this method, if it is in public, there is no error. If you remember, when I have chosen private or protected, there is an error message like get data is not is defined as private method, private or protected visibility. So this public, private, protected belongs to this method. So this method is belongs to like this visibility is belongs to this method. So before write this method, I have to write the visibility because in AC24 directly we can we have the option beside itself, but in AC38 we don't have the option. But this visibility is belongs to method only. So before we declare the method, we have to write the visibility. So I want to use this class outside of the class. So I will use the visibility as public section. So if it is a public session, I can call outside of the class also. This method I can call outside of the class. So this is the visibility control. So let me write here the visibility control. And this is the declaration for method declaration instance. And this is static method declaration. So now method declaration part is done. Then what we did, we gave the method name, we chosen the level, then visibility. Short description is not required in SO38 transaction code. So after did this short description, then I have created the parameters with the help of this button. Like there is a button. When I click on this button, directly it will navigate to the parameter screen. Here I can able to choose import with the help of F4 option. I can choose either import, export, or changing or returning parameter. Again, we don't have this option in SE38, right? But these parameters or belongs to this method. See, parameters of method. What is the method name here? Get data. So these two parameters or belongs to this method only. If you look at the this screen, here it is written parameter of method. Method name is get data. So in SE38, I have to create these parameters for this method only with the help of statements or keywords. Okay, so I'll go to 38 and beside of this method name, I will write. So how many parameters are there? We have one import parameter, one export parameter, right? So same way I will declare here. So for import parameter, we have a keyword importing. So if you see here, what is a keyword? Importing. For input parameter, which keyword is written here? Importing. But here we chosen directly from the option. But in AC38, we have to write the keyword importing and importing parameter name. So what is importing parameter name? I am Kunar. What is the type of I am Kunar? This is the data element Kunar. Parameter name is I am Kunar and data element is Kunar. So same way I will write here. I am Kunar, type Kunar. And then we have exporting parameter. So we have to declare output parameter with the help of exporting keyword. Suppose if you have changing parameter, we can use changing keyword. So how we have these options here. Similar way, we have to use the keywords. Either if you have changing parameter, we have to use the keyword changing. Written parameter, we use the keyword returning. Okay, so here directly we can choose, but there we have to use the keywords. That is the difference. Now, exporting parameter, what is the parameter name? EXKNA1. And what is the type? KNA1. So same way we have to declare here EXKNA1 type KNA1. So in this way, we can declare the parameters for the method. So get method has two parameters, importing and exporting. So importing parameter is a type of punar, exporting parameter is type of KNA1. So we are fetching single record, so we are not declaring any structure. So that is the reason we have taken the structure of table. Now what we did after this, again we went to methods tab, then to write the logic. See, here we cannot write the logic. Suppose if I want to write the logic, before explaining this, let me recall the yesterday scenario. So yesterday scenario was a single if we give a single customer number, it should display customer details like customer number, customer name, city, country, postal code. So that was the scenario. So that is the reason we have chosen import parameter as customer number, export parameter as customer details. Now I haven't written the logic. So these are existed in KNA1 table. In yesterday's class, I have shown you clearly. I went to KNA1 table, I gave single input value, right? So these all existed in KNA1 table. Now I have to fetch this data. So to fetch this data, we have to write the logic. If I double click on this one, get, get data in SC24, see, I have written the logic. Select query I have written. So where I have written in method, end method. So this logic, whatever you are seeing, so this logic part we call it as the implementation of the class. So this screen, first screen, we call it as a class definition screen. So this is a part of definition. Once I double click on the method, screen will change. It will go to like ABAP editor screen. So this is known as class implementation part. So where you can see the implementation of the methods. So where I have written this logic in the implementation of the class. Similarly, if I want to write the logic of this method, I have to use a syntax class name implementation. In SC24, directly we can double click on the method name. So it will navigate to the implementation screen. But in SC38, we have to write the statement. So this is the implementation part. And the first screen, this is the definition part. Okay? The same way in SC38, we have to. Let me copy this. I will write it here. And here, class, same. What is the class name I gave for the definition? LCL. The same class name LCL. Here is the implementation. And every class must be closed by end class. So in this class and end class of implementation, we can write the logic like select query, display logic, whatever the executable statements are there, those you can write in the implementation part. So all the declarations we will write in the definition part, all the logic we will write in the implementation part. And if I go to global class, this is the definition part. Once I double click on it, so where I have written this implementation, method, method name, end method. So same way, if I want to write the logic, I have to use the same keyword, method, method name. For declarations, we have used methods keyword because a program contain or a class can contain multiple methods. But whenever we write the logic, we will do each method separate logic. Like this is one method, get data. Suppose if I have display data, again I have to write the logic for display data separately, right? So whenever we write the logic for a specific method, we use a keyword method only because we will write the logic for each and every time single method. So that is the reason here we should use singular form, not plural form. Method, method name. Suppose if I have one more method, then method and display data will be there. So whenever we write the implementation, we have to use singular form. Method, method name. So we will write here method, method name. What is the method name I have? Get data. So here I should write get data. And every method must be closed by end method. If you see method, end method. So how I have written in SE24 also it was written same way. See method, method name get data, end method. So in between method and end method we have to write the logic. So logic is same, functionality is not changing. So I'll copy the same logic. Just you need to understand how to declare and how to implement this logic. That's it. Same scenario. Yesterday we have seen the same scenario. So just I'll copy this one. If you observe, I haven't written exception. So I will write the exception. So in between method and end method, I have to write the logic to get the data. So to get the data, we use red query. So select single star, it will fetch the single record in from k event table, and it will store in this export parameter. But it won't fetch all the records. It will fetch only the customer number which end user is entering. Suppose if end user is entered the customer number 10, only that record will be will be stored in this output parameter. Suppose if user has entered wrong input, then we will raise an exception. So to raise an exception, we have to use a keyword exceptions. No data. So let me take the same name, no data. So to declare exceptions, we have to use a keyword exceptions only. And exception name. You can write the exception name. So if size of bus is not equal to 0, meaning whatever user has entered the input, if it is not exist in the table, then we are raising the exception. And that's it, and the method. Okay. So till this part, yesterday we did in SC24. I have written the logic and I have activated the class. Anyway, I'll say check activate. So I have activated the class. So in SE24, even though if we don't create the object, we can have an option to test it. But in SE38, we cannot test it without creating object because it is a instance method. So instance method, we learned that we should call this method with the help of object only. So why do we need to call this method? Because in this method implementation only, I have written the logic. Where is my self query? In the method implementation part. So if I don't call this method, this program doesn't give any output. If it is a normal core ABAP, directly we used to write this red query and we will on execute button. But it is object-oriented ABAP. So if you want to execute your select query, you have to call the method. Because in your method only we have written the logic of select query. Without select query, we cannot get the data from the database table, right? So we have to call this method. So to call this method, what is a way to call this method? What we have to do to call a method which is inside of a class? Or how to call instance method?
by creating the object.
Yes, by creating the object. So first we have to define the object. So if you remember subroutines, at the time of subroutine explanation I have explained, after completion of processing block, if any executable statements are there, it cannot be accessible. Okay, practically I will show you. I think you don't remember that part. So first we'll define the object. To define the object, we use data keyword, local object, algo, which is an object name, type, ref to, class name. So let me go to yesterday's program when we called the global class. Same steps we have to follow. So this is yesterday's program when we called global class locally. So first what it did, okay, this is the first part for instance method. So I have defined the object type ref to class name. So same way I have written object name type ref to what is our class name here LCL. This is the program name, not class name. Don't confuse. This is the program name. So inside of the program, we are creating the class. So don't write this name whenever you are referring to the object. Don't write a report name. This is report name. This is the class name. If you see class, class name definition, class name implementation. So in this class only methods are existed and implementation also existed. So you should write this class name. So type ref to class name. Mm, and then we have to use a keyword create object algo obj. Even if you don't write the statement, it won't be create any object. Suppose you just define the object, you forgot to create object like this, you won't get the data. I will show you that later. Now we have defined the object, then we created the object. Then the next step is we can call the method with the help of this object because it is an instance method. So instance method can be called by using an object. So to call a method, you can choose this pattern button and from here above object patterns, double click on it and from here onwards you can create it or else manually also you can create. Let's go with this one. After a few days, I will explain one more way to add to create the method. Now, instance. So instance is nothing but object name. Object name is LOBJ. So here LOBJ. Class. So here the class name what we have taken LCL. Here would be LCL. And method name. So here method name you should write manually because it is a local class. So it cannot be fetched, I believe. So you can write here manually get data and press enter. What is not existed. Hmm. So here it is not accessing. Even I'm trying to like there is a class with LCL, but there is an error. Class LCL does not exist. It is not accessing the class because, as I mentioned, after the processing block, if any executable statements are there, it cannot be accessed. So to avoid this, we have to use the event startup selection. This is a declaration only, data enrolled, which is a declaration. But creating an object, this is not declaration part. So we have to use a keyword startup selection. Activate pattern. Get data your register. 1 second. Everything is activated public session. Let's say we open anything implementation. Yes. Okay, I understood the issue. So for local class, it is not accepting to take this it is not accepting to create to call the method in this way because it cannot be go to it is not the global one. If you remember, SC24 is a global one, so it can fetch this data, but it is created locally, so it is not fetching this one. So we have one more way to call this method. Just you can write object name LOBJ, and let me go test this program to show you. So what we did, LOBJ after hyphen and greater than symbol, like single arrow. So same way we'll do here. And after that, press Control and spacebar. See, our method name is existed. At the bottom, you can see get data. And this method name, see, all the method names will be visible with this icon. Orange color icon is there, right? So it indicates method. Then press enter. Now it has written, it has called our method only, but our method has importing parameter, exporting parameter along with exception. So this also needs to be right here. So to do that, again, repeat the same step. Control and spacebar. So we have to repeat one more time. Now see, when I place the arrow, it has indicating importing, exporting, and exception parameter. So press enter one more time. Now see, it has written all the parameters which I have declared. So let me show you again. So this is a instance method. So instance method we can call with the help of object. So once you create the object, take the object name. So object name is LOOBJ. Then hyphen and greater than. After that, you can press Control and spacebar. So Control and spacebar. So once you hit Control and spacebar, at the bottom you can see method name. Suppose in this case I have only one method. Suppose if I have multiple methods, I can choose which method I want to call it. Then press enter. So this method has parameters. If doesn't have any parameter, you can leave as it is, but it has a parameters. Like in the declaration part, if you see, these are the parameters I declared. So whenever we call the method, we need these parameters also. So to call the parameters again, yes, anyone saying anything? We have to repeat the same step. Do control and spacebar. Then press enter. So it will write the parameters. And we can uncomment everything. So from here onwards, we need to declare. See, I am Kunar. What is I am Kunar? It is input parameter. And what is the type of input parameter? It is Kunar. So for I am Kunar, I have to pass input parameter. So how do we pass input parameter? With the help of parameters keyword. So this we did yesterday. If I go to yesterday's program, see, we did this part yesterday. Here I have passed input parameter. So from here onwards, same steps. When we call global class into local class, which steps we did, those steps we'll write here. Same steps. After start of selection, same steps we will write. So here, I am Kunar is nothing but input parameter. So I have to create an input parameter. So to create an input parameter, I use parameters. And take the parameter name like Kunar, type Kunar. So this Kunar, I will pass to input parameter. Next, export parameter. So what is this type? Export parameter is the type of KNA1. So same way I have to declare in the program. Data. So it is a single record. I can declare like a work area. Type KNA. And this work area I can pass to export parameter because it can hold single record. So if no data, 1, like exception, it will rise like 1. If others, it will rise like 2. So we can write any message if size of RC not equal to 0. You can write with message ID here. You can see message ID is there. Suppose message no data on for the selection. type E. Else, suppose if size above is not equal to 0, meaning this input, whatever we are passing this input, if it is not exist in the table, then it will raise an exception. We'll raise this exception and we will write an error message that like no data found for the selection. Suppose if the data is existed, so that I will write in the else part. So here we'll write work area K1. So we'll declare the, we will display the fields data. Now, suppose name to ORT01 02, whatever the required fields are there, so those we can display it. Post, that's it. So here uh, we are accessing this method, or we are calling this method outside of the class. Outside of the class is nothing but outside of the implementation. So in yesterday's class, I said outside of the class is nothing but outside of SE24. But in local class, everything we will do within the same program only, even if it is inside of the class or outside of the class. But imagine that this end class is nothing but boundary for this local class. So if I say outside of the class, that is meaning of outside of end class. Implementation of end class is nothing but outside of the end class in the local class. When it comes to SE24, outside of the class is nothing but outside of SE24. Okay. So now we are calling that method with the help of object, and here method name. We are passing input parameter and output parameter. Then if the data not existed, we will write with the error message. If it is existed, we will write in the output. See, save, check, activate, and then execute. So input, it is existed. Suppose if I write any wrong input, then it will raise an exception. Error message will be displayed here. No data found for the selection. Same yesterday scenario we did. We achieved through global class. This we achieved through local class. So there is no difference. Just in S24, everything we have with tags and table format. But in AC38, we have to write with the set of statements. So this is instance method. Suppose if it is a static method, I should write class hyphen methods. And if it is a static class, just here the naming convention will be different. And also no need to create any object. So this is not required, because static method we can call with the help of class name. So class name is LCL. Instead of single, here double the break, like equal symbol. If you remember, if I go to yesterday's program, see, this is a static method. We are calling static method with the help of class name, and here equal greater than symbol. So in this way, we can also identify whether it is a static method or instance method. The remaining part will be same. Only the way we call the method is different. So here, how we are calling with the equal symbol, and in the static method, we put only hyphen, single. Let's see the output. me change the text element. Text element. Looks cute. And here the same output, there is no difference. So this we have seen using global class. So today I have explained using local class. So if it is a local class, sorry, if it is a static method, just use this keyword class hyphen methods. If it is an instance method, no need to use this one. Okay. So here I will replace with instance. This is for instance method. And let me write same name. Here and more obj15. So this way we can call method using object. Call instance method. Suppose if it is a static method, we will call with the help of class. Call static method using class name. That's it. So any doubts in today's session?